Hi folks, I'm doing another quick video. Today's topic is basically buying high value items and how to protect yourself. So let's say for instance you want to buy high value sort of things like watches, stuff like this, Krugerrands, specialist coins online, whatever, that sort of thing. Anything that's kind of a decent value, you know, probably a few £100 and up. So I'm gonna quote from two specific situations that I've experienced myself to try and summarise how I've kind of got to where I am with respect to how I buy things. So first things first, the Krugerrand. So nice, 1 full troy ounce of fine gold. Now, there's people collect these. They're quite a cool little investment thing. They're portable. Great in the event of if you want to hide money from a dodgy ex-wife that's trying to screw you or something, that sort of thing. So anybody in that situation, take note. Quite cool little things. There's no paperwork trace much. If you wanted to make them disappear, so to speak, unlike shares and stocks and things in the bank. So quite a cool little item. And people collect them, obviously. So I bought that about 4 years ago, I think it was, and I'd always fancied one of these. My dad had told me about them and stuff like that. So when you buy these coins, there's really only 2 or 3 dealers in the UK, really, mainly, that do this sort of bullion. And what they will typically do is they want you to pay for it with either cash, bank transfer, debit card, right? They don't accept credit cards, and there's various reasons for that, to do with money laundering. And if they sent you the coins and you got a refund on your card, they would have neither the money nor the coin. So that's just the way they operate. And one of the downsides with this is if you go and buy one of these on a debit card, a Visa debit card, for instance, the dealer I work with in the Midlands, he's a little bit on the shonky side, and I'd bought it through a website under the Distance Selling Act. Goods never arrived nearly a month later. Loads of excuses, loads of BS. And it's always the same story, you know, you are out a whole bunch of money and you ain't got the goods. So you're the one that's exposed to the risk. So what can you do? So initially you chase up the seller, chase up the retailer. It's a typical standard fare. A lot of fobbing off with phone calls and everything else. And of course, because it's a place a wee bit further away, it's a bit harder to get into face to face. And the other problem is, of course, you've bought it on a debit card. Now, debit cards give you virtually no protection whatsoever. You know, when I phoned up the bank and said goods hadn't arrived, they said, well, you'll have to wait. It was a couple of days to the 28 days. You'll have to wait till the full 28 days has elapsed and then raise a case with us. And it could be something like, you know, a month to 56 days till they can be bothered getting their latte and actually bothering to deal with the investigation. At which point you might get your money back if it all pans out. Not an ideal situation. Not an ideal situation to be in. So really you get very little protection with that. So the way I had to deal with that situation is you basically have to use a bit of reverse psychology with the dealer or the seller and say, well, oh, by the way, see, tomorrow I'm coming in face to face, toe to toe, and in that situation it's a lot harder for them to argue. So you use that as one gambit. The other gambit is you know, what he was trying to do is palm me off with other coins of a similar value. Now, some people, if you're a real true collector, you're not going to want something else, right? They are in a slightly stronger position to do that, partly because of the distance selling thing and the fact you've not got a lot of protection through the card. So you're still in a strong position in the sense of they should really be given what you've ordered. But It's a lot of time and hassle to sort it out. So in the end, I took a coin. It was the same coin as I wanted, but just a slightly different year. Accepted that in order to try and take away the reason, any blocker that they're putting in the way to stop you from getting what you want. Try and knock those blockers down in order to get something back. So I've got something that's worth basically the same value, and I can always punt that at a later date if I ever needed to. So that's one situation. Situation two was the Rolex that you've possibly watched the other videos on. Now, with the credit cards, what my advice is get on the internet, do a bit of scouring, right? Have a bit of a scour on the internet on a thing called Section 75. And what this is to do with in the UK is credit cards, you basically buy the goods, keep all the paperwork, and then there's a couple of situations that can kind of happen. If you don't like the goods, it's tough cheddar, right? You're at the reseller's mercy in that situation. The other flip situation is if the goods are faulty. If the goods are faulty, it's pretty much game over for the retailer, right? Especially if it happens quite soon after the goods have basically been purchased, all goods in the UK. And this doesn't matter whether it's new or second hand. They've got to be working and, you know, serve their purpose and all of that kind of stuff. You can read up about that a bit more online. If they break, it's game over for them. Your best course of action really, and this is my advice, is if you pay for it in part with a credit card, you're protected for the full amount. If you pay for the full amount on a credit card, you're protected fully. In that situation, why would you do anything other than pay for the whole thing with a credit card? You know, why would you be out money? You could keep that money back, pay, see how it pans out. If you have problems, you're fully protected. So pay for it all with a credit card is my advice. If the goods are faulty, go back and... Again, like the Krugerrand situation, your best recourse is don't be phoning up. You know, forewarned is forearmed, right? You don't want them to be forewarned as forearmed. You want you to be forewarned as forearmed. So don't warn them you're coming. Turn up, bang, refund. You keep phoning up, you're giving them the upper hand. And when you go in, have your story straight. You know, check out your consumer rights. Check out that Section 75 on credit cards law and what your rights are. Now, a lot of retailers, what they might do is some good retailers that care about their reputation will probably give you the refund fairly easily. Others where the margins are a bit slimmer, they might be trying to go down the route of repair and all of that. Now, you don't have to accept the repair. This is a key thing. If you get the goods and it's busted, that's pretty much tainted the whole situation in my book, right? If you're dealing with, this is where it comes back to the high value items. If you're talking a Rembrandt, a Krugerrand, a Rolex, you know, you don't want to go off to Uncle Tom Cobley and being patched up and then getting patched up goods, because that wasn't a condition of sale, right? If you're happy with conditions of sale and you say, yeah, nice Rolex, but it's busted, go away and fix it and I'll give you $3,000 for it. If that's a condition of sale, fine. If that's the game you're into. If you're expecting something a bit less troublesome and it's not a condition of sale, don't let the retailer add a condition of sale in after you've purchased and go, well, you know, it could have always been a problem. You know, this is it. This is life. This is the conditions of buying these things. That's not really a condition of sale that you were going to have the hassle. So consider that. Push for your refund hard, and if you get any pushback, make sure you've got your consumer law up to date and you're strong and pretty determined. If you still don't get it and you've returned the goods, then this is really key. Keep copies of the paperwork. So all receipts, photocopy them. It's dead easy to just whack it into the printer, bang the start button, it'll pump off a copy. Keep that back, because when you go into the shop and they start taking the bags off for you and it's under the counter, yeah, you're going to lose the watch, you're going to lose the receipts, everything's going to disappear. You're not going to be able to get that back. Keep the receipts, keep a copy of the receipts. If you have any further trouble, round the bank, Visa credit card, quote your Section 75, boom, yeah, hand over the paperwork. chances are you'll get your money back. Better than even's chance you're going to get your money fully refunded. That's where you need to be at. Okay, so moral of the story is, don't use your debit card. Not online, not for distance selling, not anywhere. You know, any higher value good. I cannot understand why anybody, even if you've got the cash, sitting, keep the cash, pay on the card, square up the card later. If you get problems, you've still got that protection. There's no reason why you wouldn't do it in any situation, and it just really puts you in a stronger position. The other thing is, you know, don't waive your consumer rights. Go in quick, right? Under the 28 days. You can go back afterwards, but you're in danger of going back too late, that you've accepted the goods in the condition they are, or that you've caused the problem. Now, there is a little bit of a thing around, if you had damaged the goods or done something to it, the burden of proof is on them. They have to try and prove you did that. But that's all going to end up, ultimately, that's going to end up in an argument. No, I never bashed it. Yeah, you did. Oh, yes, you magnetised it. No, I didn't. You know, and it'll just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Hence, stick with your plastic, stick with your Visa credit card. That's your friend in these situations. It's going to give you the upper hand, you know. So I hope that's useful. It's pretty much valid in the UK. I'm sure there's similar things in other countries. You'll just have to Google it and check it out. But it's worth doing. And if you're going to buy anything of these kind of value, you know, in importance, it's worth thinking about. All right. Take care, folkies. Enjoy.